500 of those done. How are you doing, guys? MiNHOQuiNho here. Hope you're doing great, and I hope you keep being motivated throughout this time of Corona lockdown. Guys, I'm here today to talk to you about the 500 MacaQuinho challenge that I set for myself a few months ago, which I have finally completed. Well done me. It took me about 3 months to complete it. It was difficult. It was more difficult than I thought it's gonna be. Even though the movement is one of my favorite ground movements, and I thought I'm just gonna smash through this challenge. No, I had lots of lessons to learn. I want to tell you what my goal was, and there were two. Number one was decrease the failure rate of this movement for me. What I mean by this is that out of 10 repetitions, when I tried to do MacaQuinho before this challenge, maybe 2, maybe 3 would be successful. The rest I would fail. After this challenge, I'm super happy to admit that about 6-7 reps now of MacaQuinho are successful out of 10, which is huge progress in my opinion. Number 2 are the ideas for MacaQuinho. So if you've watched, let's say, 10 previous episodes of this vlog, you probably noticed I've been doing some ground movements. The idea was that to practice those ground movements, but also to try to connect them with MacaQuinho, so I could create some sequences and learn something new, which was quite successful in my opinion, and you'll see some of the ideas just in a minute. Okay, let's get into some insights. So there are a few things I've learned throughout this challenge. About my body, about myself, and my approach to this movement. So it might not necessarily work for you, but this is what I've learned for myself. Number 1 is the warm-up. There's many movements I am able to do with little to no warm-up. MacaQuinho is complete opposite. I really need to be warm and not just do a few jumping jacks, do a few push-ups, etc, etc. The best MacaQuinhos I'm able to do are when I do full training, like I do 1 hour, maybe 2 hours of training, and then I'm able to actually perform some MacaQuinhos. Otherwise, my body is just stiff and not ready. I need to be kind of sweating to be able to do this movement nicely. Lesson number 2, repetitions. I know you might say that, yeah, you need to do reps for every single thing you're trying to learn. That's true. But for me, in terms of MacaQuinho, I just had to push more. I did 500 of reps now. I did 500 challenge, and I still don't feel like I get the movement 100%. There's still so many things I have to polish. Whereas I've done, as you probably know, 500 challenges for other movements, and those movements are quite good now, even after those 500 reps. MacaQuinho, it requires more, at least for me. Lesson number 3, Kedaji Hins. This is probably one of the most important things you should know about MacaQuinho if you're trying to learn it. This is my insight. Maybe that's not the case for you, but I'm 99% sure it will be, because the base for MacaQuinho is Kedaji Hins, and if your Kedaji Hins sucks, your MacaQuinho will suck as well. I used the time of the Corona lockdown to really go into basics and really strengthen my basics, and one of those basics is Kedaji Hins, and it paid off. It really paid off. If your Kedaji Hins is strong, your MacaQuinho will be strong as well. Lesson number 4, putting an effort. This is something that I've learned later on into the challenge. If you watched videos, or if you participated Hodas and you've seen Hodas, people playing, doing MacaQuinho, and they already know MacaQuinho, you can get into this trap of believing that you need to be super relaxed when you go to MacaQuinho, because it looks like this. When people know how to do MacaQuinho, it looks like they go into the movement very easily, and it's kind of fluid, and you don't need to put much strength. It just looks beautiful. That's why I love the movement. But the truth is, if you don't put effort while you in MacaQuinho already, it might not work. The effort what I talk about now specifically is to put an effort as you come out of macaquinho. So what I've learned is that once you into macaquinho kind of halfway, you really need to push with the second hand to push yourself off the floor to finish macaquinho quickly and nicely. Otherwise you will just kind of fall to the side, or it will be slow, or you will maybe open your knees, and it's not gonna look nice. Lesson number 5 is a final tip I actually got from Mr. Piolo, who is in my opinion one of the masters of macaquinho movement. He seen me doing macaquinho and he advised me to watch out for my shoulder, trying not to put it on the floor while doing macaquinho, which is difficult. He's quite small, so he's able to kind of make himself really small and kind of not touch with his shoulder to the floor. This is of course an excuse. I'm making excuses now because it's possible for every single person. Maybe you're big or small, and I know that because I've been able to do that movement without touching my shoulder to the floor. So the truth is that I need to focus more on that bit, on this little tip when I go to macaquinho, not to touch my shoulder to the floor, and I need to train more. But I just wanted to make an excuse, I guess. I cannot resist not to mention about this little success. I'm talking about a little bit different way of doing macaquinho. You've already seen it in this video when I do macaquinho with straight leg instead of going kind of from negativa. This is something when I saw it for the first time, I saw Mr. Papalegus doing that. I was amazed and I really wanted to learn it, but of course there was no way for me to learn it before I learned macaquinho. Maybe it's not perfect yet, but I got an idea. I understand how the movement works, how to do it, and it requires loads of queda de rins balancing. Yeah, I just wanted to have that on the record. And that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode, hope you find it useful, or at least entertaining. Maybe you got some ideas for macaquinho, maybe a little bit of inspiration to practice it more. Guys, the movement is difficult, don't get frustrated. I did a lot of the times. There is no point, just drill, work on your queda de rins, and do those reps, because this movement requires it. If you think this episode might be useful to anyone else, please share the video with other guys. If you haven't joined the family yet, there is a subscribe button below. Use that. And apart from that, off to the next challenge, I guess. Take care and I'll speak to you soon.